Are you thinking of growing orchids in your home? In this The Daily Eco video, we explain all the necessary care for them to grow healthily and flourish. Pay attention and take some notes. Proper light and location. Orchids need abundant natural light, but always indirectly. For this reason, if you plant them outdoors, it'll be convenient to locate them in an illuminated area, but always making sure they're not in direct sunlight, especially when the sun is very bright. Indoors, it's best to place them in a very bright room near balconies or windows where they receive indirect sunlight or where the curtains filter the light. In the same way, it's convenient to find an environment with adequate aeration, since they need clean air. Of course, this should not be confused with exposing it to drafts on a regular basis, which will dry out the plant, making it lose flowers very easily. Orchid pots. Choose a pot that is made of translucent material that allows light to penetrate so that the roots also absorb it. In addition, we can also easily check the condition of the roots, a good indicator of their health. As in vast majority of cases, it's also necessary for the pot to have drainage holes. Ideal temperature and climate. These plants must always be kept within a temperature range of between 10 and 30 degrees Celsius, being necessary to protect them inside the house if the temperatures fall or rise beyond these limits. In addition, it's important to keep them away from radiators and air conditioners, as these can also harm them. Before we continue, let's put you to the test. How long can orchids live for? Is it A, 50 years, B, 75 years, or C, 100 years? Think about it, because at the end of the video, you'll be able to find out if you're right. Irrigation for orchids. The most suitable method is immersion irrigation. Immerse the pot in water at room temperature. You can use rainwater, or if that's not possible, let the tap water sit for 24 hours before using it for watering. Leave the pot submerged in a basin with plenty of water for 10 to 20 minutes, then remove it and let the excess water drain completely through the holes in the container. After this, you can return it to its usual location. In general, it will be enough to apply this process once a week during its most active months and every 15 days in its resting season, that is, in the cold months. When in doubt, you should know that the orchids handle drought better than excess water. Required humidity. As tropical plants, orchids also need high humidity. This can usually be achieved by two methods: using a tray with stones and water, or if you have it hanging, spraying water on the leaves. By cleaning the orchid leaves like this, we moisten them and also clean them of dust, improving their absorption of water and nutrients. In the case of the tray, it's enough to place a little water in a tray and cover it with stones, and then place the pot on top. Substrate and fertilizer indicated. These plants are not very demanding with their substrate, since their roots don't seek food in it. Thus, the most important thing is that the substrate is light and porous, so that it drains as well as possible and at the same time retains a certain level of humidity. As for the compost, this is another one of the key points in its maintenance. Do not use organic fertilizers or universal chemicals, as this could burn and damage its roots. Instead, it's best to use fertilizers for orchids or epiphytes. Orchid pruning. When the flowers have fallen, prepare pruning shears by sterilizing them and cutting the stem just below the first bud. It is important to do so that the plant does not waste energy trying to feed stalks that are drying up. This way, it will be stronger and will be able to bloom again in the following season. And going back to the question we had asked you before, have you thought about it? The correct answer is C. Although an orchid has an average lifespan of 60 to 80 years, some have reached 100 years of life. So tell us, what kind of orchid are you thinking of growing? We hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.